नान्तप्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नोभयतप्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानगनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यमग्राह्यमलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यमवव्यपदेश्यमेकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवमद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः. Ashakara says on page 51, fourth line, नान्तप्रज्ञम् इति तैजसप्रतिषेधः, न बहिष्प्रज्ञम् इति विश्वप्रतिषेधः, न उभयतप्रज्ञम् इति जागरितस्वप्नयोः अन्तरालवस्थाप्रतिषेधः, न प्रज्ञानघनम् इति सुषुप्तावस्थाप्रतिषेधः, बीजभाव अविवेकरूपत्वात्. And then न प्रज्ञम् इति युगपत् सर्वविषय ज्ञातृत्व प्रतिषेधः, न अप्रज्ञम् इति चैतन्य प्रतिषेधः, अचैतन्य प्रतिषेधः. So Shankaracharya gives a elaborate commentary on this seventh mantra and pointing out that the seventh mantra reveals Turiya without revealing as an object. Like pot is revealed, this is revealed, that is revealed, Swami is revealed. Everywhere you need basically you need a pramana, means of knowledge, otherwise need not. You cannot. Not only means of knowledge, conscious means of knowledge, which can experience a given thing, given object, corresponding object. So that is also required. And in fact, okay, then this means of knowledge is this sense organs, etc. Okay. Then sense organs also are revealed. By what? By mind, naturally. If mind is not, behind the sense organs, the sense organ cannot reveal the object. Then mind itself is also not self-revealing. Well, mind is revealed by this action, right? It is self-revealing. That's how everything, so mind is revealed to the consciousness. The sense organs is revealed to the mind. The world is revealed to the sense organs. Ultimately, the world, the body, the mind, the senses, the pranas, your memory, your emotions, your perceptions, your doubts, everything is revealed to one thing, and that is that it need not be revealed by any means of knowledge. That's called aparoksha. That's the immediate one. Other things are not immediate because there is a vyavadhanam of a means of knowledge. Either mind, either senses, whatever. Depends. Certain things are revealed indirectly through inference, etc. You need just mind. Certain things are revealed directly through the mind and sense organs, as a means of knowledge. That is the world. So ultimately the whole world is illumined by consciousness, which is self-revealing. That's a Turiya. Therefore, Turiya should be known as very I. But Swami, I would like to know one thing. How do you know that this I is consciousness? Somebody asked this question. How do you say I is consciousness? Well, simple answer is because a conscious being says I. Therefore, I is consciousness. But, therefore, this thing doesn't say I. No, this thing doesn't say I. Therefore, it is not conscious, it is inert. I would not answer this question. Everything, if I say yes, this is inert, this is not consciousness. Since I say I am conscious, means conscious beings say I, therefore, certain things in the world like all the jivas, etc., individuals are consciousness, other things is not. In that case, of course, consciousness is there, but consciousness is not limitless because that consciousness doesn't pervade. Therefore, it is limited. So, if it pervades both, well, definitely, the difference here is addition of one thing in this body and absence of that thing in this body, and that is subtle body. But then just because subtle body is there, how can an I arise? See, that is what the I thought is. I thought is, if I thought is there, that's how you say I. Therefore, well, definitely that is the addition. That's the addition that I thought is not there. What is that? Subtle body, antakarana. And therefore, that subtle body, well, definitely becomes conscious on account of being a non-separate from consciousness. And therefore, ultimately, that is, so I is ultimately revealing consciousness. Even though we say I means I am, etc., am means is, that I is, etc. Anyway, that ahankara atma viveka I am independently we will be doing here, perhaps today itself. Anyway, so this is I am Turiyam. Bhashyakara wants to reveal. So this self-revealing cannot be revealed by the words of Shastra. It cannot work as a pramana. Well, therefore, by negation. Because you already are self-revealing, but being self-revealing, you are a sitting duck for all kinds of adhyasa. And those adhyasa we can continue. Not that all adhyasas are really a curse. Certain adhyasas are blessing. Certain adhyasas are blessing. Like you do in Upasana, adhyasa is working very well. You see one thing as other. Nikrushta vastuni, utkrushta vastu, vastunaha aropaha, adhyaropaha, upasana, dhyana. So that is there. But this kind of a thing, you are limitless. You are free from any change. You are ever silence. You are free from any doshas. You are free from janma marana. You are free from very doership. You are free from sanchita, agami, etc. prarabdha. And janma marana also. And still, well, you identify with this ahankara, with this body, mind, sense complex. And, well, you say I am waker, dreamer, this, etc., etc. That brings a samsara. Very parichinnatvam. Parichinnatvam in terms of time. Naturally, you say I am 60-year-old. Yeah. Parichinnatvam, limitation in terms of place. Well, I am here in this ashram. I am here. So, parichinnatvam in terms of time, place. Parichinnatvam in terms of attributes. Oh, I am a human being, I am male, I am Swami, I am 5 feet 8 inches, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. It's called Vastu Paricheda. So all the way you are limited. All the way you feel limited. You are not limited. Even though you are aparichinnam Brahma, that we have to discover. We just say Turiya. But Swamiji, this Turiya is Brahman, how will you know? That's not there. I will be filling up this thing also. So we may divert here and there in this mantra, because we have to see this Turiyam is Brahman ultimately. We just talk about Turiya. That Turiya has to be Brahman, which is Jagat Karanam. And therefore Brahman being Jagat Karanam pervades everything. But that Brahman happens to be Turiya, the Sakshi, the Atma. And therefore Atma pervades everything. Means whatever is there is just all are forms of Atma only. That's called Sarvatma Bhava. That Sarvatma Bhava gives you freedom, otherwise no freedom. I am just Turiya, I am consciousness. Doesn't give you at all. You are free from all limitations as to be known thoroughly. That's how we have two definitions of Brahman. I will be talking about that. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is also one definition, which is called Sarupa Lakshanam, and at the same time, Yato Aimani Bhutani Jayante Ena Jatani Jivanti Yat Prayanti Abhisamvishanti Tad Brahma. Brahman is a Jagat Karanam. It's a Tatastha Lakshana. This is Sarupa Lakshana. It's a huge discussion in Brahma Sutra whether which definition we have to take. Because Brahman is Sarupa Lakshanam, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, which is neither a cause nor effect. Fine, that's fine. But then at the same time, same Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad talks in Bhruguvalli, in Brahmanandavalli, of course, Karanam also has been shown, but Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma very clearly Sarupa Lakshana. And in Bhruguvalli, that Brahman has been shown as Jagat Karanam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Karya Karanam Vilakshanam Brahma. Here it is a Karanam Brahma, which is to be taken. Huge discussion by Vyasacharya ji, and says both the Lakshanas are required. Because I am Atma. I am not waker, I am not dreamer, I am this, I am just Atma. How will you get that Sarvatma Bhava? Atma is Sarvatma. How will you know? Unless Atma happens to be Brahman, you cannot know. And then Brahman is being a Karanam, pervades everything. Brahman is pervading everything. That Brahman, so Atma is Brahman, Brahman is Jagat Karanam. Therefore, Atma is Jagat Karanam. Atma is Jagat Karanam means Atma pervades. Right? Atma is immanently present in everything. Other than that, there is nothing else. And at the same time, Atma is distinct from everything. Satyam. And therefore, then while you say, I am Sarvatma, Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma, that is to be understood very thoroughly. Both the Lakshanas are required, we will see that. Anyway, so I am Turiyam right now. It cannot be revealed as an object. It need not be revealed even as a subject, because subject is all the time revealing. In fact, everything is evident to this eye. Either a body is evident to eye, mind is evident to eye, memory is evident to eye, emotions are evident to eye, doubts are evident to eye, perceptions are evident to eye, inference is evident to eye, hunger, thirst is evident to eye, sensory power is evident to eye, senses are evident to eye. All, the very ahankara, the kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, everything is evident to you. That is self-evident. And therefore you don't need any pramana including Shastra. But you have already committed a mistake, and there are reasons for that. One is born with the mistake. Yeah. One is born in every janma with the mistake. It's a very unique category. Adhyasa is a very unique category. It is very beautifully said in a Viveka Chudamani that we'll refer. So anyway, so I will just first complete this. So here, now Shankaracharya ji established in an elaborate introductory portion that Nisheda only is required, and in fact when you do Nisheda, it doesn't lead to Shunyam. Well, what obtains after all negation is the very negated. That is consciousness. And therefore, and that is what everyone's experience is, that everything is negated, yet you are there in a deep sleep state. Time, space and everything is negated. You are very much there to even reveal the absence of everything. That's what your self-revealing nature is. So, and Nanta Prajnam, so it gives a word meaning for everything. Nanta Prajnam negates Taijasa, means Nanta Prajna means there is no dreamer. No, that's not true. Because these are all unique category. That unique category I will talk to you. So Nanta Prajna means there is no dreamer. No, I am not dreamer. That's the thing. I am not dreamer, because that's a commitment. That's a mistake you have committed. Anyway, then Na Bahish Prajnam, well, you are not, I am not a waker. Na Ubhayata Prajna, I am not in between also. And so either between Jagrat and Sapna, and either Sapna and Sushupti, or Sushupti and Jagrat. There are several, I have been told by, so this other avasthas, Antaral avastha also, it can be there. And Bhashakara talks about Jagrat Sapnayoho Antaralam. And then Shankaracharya wants to point out this word Prajnanam, Na Prajnana Ghanam later. So, Na Prajnana Ghanam means Na Ghana Prajna, or Na Prajnana Ghanam means, well, I am not even a deep sleeper. And Shankaracharya ji says this, wants to point out that the word Prajnanam basically in this context doesn't refer to the pure consciousness. It will, otherwise it becomes Turiyam. So, means Turiyam is revealed by the word. So, no. Here, he wants Prajnanam means several cognitions which are present in a waking state, which are present in a dream state. Several cognitions are there, depending upon the object. Corresponding to the object, various vrittis are there. So all are cognitions. What cognition? This cognition in a waking state, same way even in a dream also. And when all the cognitions as though merge into one thing, they become undifferentiated. The cognitions which are differentiated, variegated in both the states, are not there in a state that's called Prajnana Ghanam, and that is deep sleep state. And so this Vishesh Jnanam etc. are not there. They are just jumbled into a undifferentiated form. Comes to the unmanifest form. And that is Sushupti Avastha. Therefore, na prajnana means I am not a deep sleeper also. So, and Bhashyakara gives a reason, Bija Bhava Aviveka Rupatvat. He defines Sushupti Avastha as a Bija Bhava, is a seed basically for the other two. Avyakta is always a seed for the Vyakta. So, Karanavastha we can say also. So, the seed condition, Sushupti Avastha. Seed condition of what? Well, Jagrat and Swapna. So, Jagrat Swapna yoho Bija Bhava, you can say. And not only that, Aviveka Rupatvat. And in which all that Aviveka here in terms of distinctions, all different types of knowledge, even Vyashti Samashti distinction, or even various cognitions, we just said, various cognitions, distinct cognitions, and different types of knowledges, etc. Everything is basically Aviveka Rupatvat, means in which this kind of distinctions are absent. So this is Sushupti Avastha, na prajnana ghanam. And here, this, I am referring to that Swamiji's notes, and it says here that, it's a nice point. Of course, I have discussed this also, that in a Sushupti, there is a experience of a non-duality. So, it's the experience of a non-duality. The duality is absent in Sushupti, we say, but we are not interested in that state. We are not interested in basically, even though we say duality is absent, Vyashti, Samashti, Vyashti, or various cognitions, and depending upon the, you say, I am a knower also varies, right? I am a seer, hearer, these, that, all things are absent in deep sleep state. So that's called Dvaitam. All Vikalpas are absent. Are they really absent, or are they in unmanifest state? We said it is an unmanifest state. They are very much there. And that kind of experience you have in which all this Dvaitam, the Vikalpas, basically have become unmanifest. They have not gone away totally. They have not gone away. So you have an experience of a non-duality in which the duality has become unmanifest. And that experience are several. Not only a deep sleep state, it is even Samadhi Avastha also. That's called Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, in which the duality has as though not absent. Absent means it has gone away, duality. No. It is unmanifest, so far as you are in a Samadhi. Even same thing happens when person goes to coma also. Murcha. Right? So all these three states, deep sleep state or Samadhi Avastha, or even in a state of absorption or a state of a coma, unconsciousness, well, in which the non-duality you don't, the duality you don't experience, but duality is very much present in a potential state. So you are interested in non-duality. Non-duality means basically there is no second thing. And therefore there is no bhayam, there is no samsara, etc. That's what we are interested in. Anyway, so this thing which is potentially there, manifest. Once you wake up, once you come out from the samadhi, or once a person comes to a conscious state from unconsciousness, that duality manifests. In your perception, there is a dual world. Jiva Bheda, Jiva Ishvara Bheda, Jiva Jagat Bheda will be there. That again brings samsara. Dvaitati bhayam bhavati. So we are not interested in those experiences that Swamiji is pointing out. Wonderful. We are interested in a knowledge of a non-duality. Knowing that perceptually, experientially, duality may remain, but you don't give a reality to that duality. That's it. Knowing that non-dual factor, which is the factor, which is the truth of that duality. And therefore, our experiences, even though we have a experience of a non-duality every night, as we wake up, we again have a samsara, because we see in our perceptual Dvaitam is there, Experiential Dvaitam is there. At the same time, we think also that duality is a reality. That duality is a reality, etc., will go away only by knowledge, and thereby the duality, even though experientially, may continue, but then it doesn't have any bearing for you, and as though the world becomes a non-separate from you. So you don't see a world different from you. You don't see a Ishvara different from you. You don't see, here cognitively, you don't see another individual really different from you. And thereby, well, Dvaitam goes away. Thereby, the Bhayam, etc., also will go away, fear, etc., goes away. And thereby, well, ultimately, you become free from, that's called moksha. Anyway, so non-dual truth, which is, of course, is the basis for all the three states, is available in all the states. But the knowledge, of course, of this particular non-duality, etc., is possible only in a waking state. Therefore, we are interested in a waking state in which we appreciate the non-dual factor, the truth of all the duality. We will be able to appreciate, we will be able to see cognitively. Therefore, we are interested in the waking state, or we gain the knowledge of a non-duality in waking state. Even though we have an experience of a non-duality every night, we are not interested in that more than the analysis of that state. Yeah. And therefore, while for that, all this so-called Shastra Pramana teaching, etc., and the Guru and the very Pramata is also required. Pramata is required. Then Bhashyakara says, न प्रज्ञान घनमिति सुषुप्त अवस्था प्रतिषेधः बीज भाव अविवेक रूपत्वात् न प्रज्ञमिति युगपत् सर्व विषय ज्ञातृत्व प्रतिषेधः न अप्रज्ञमिति अचैतन्य प्रतिषेधः. So further, so न प्रज्ञम, right? So न अंतःप्रज्ञम, न बहिष्प्रज्ञम, न उभयतः and then न प्रज्ञम, न प्रज्ञम. So, prajna means here is, Bhashyakara explains, yugapat, sarva vishaya prajnatrutvam, sarva vishaya gnatrutvam, pratisheda, that is also negated, na prajna, pratisheda. So, sarva vishaya gnatrutvam, yugapat. So, prajna means a simultaneous knower of everything, like Ishvara, etc. That's how this also was a third pada. We saw that. Ya eshaha, sarveshwaraha, etc., etc. The sixth mantra. That's a Trutiya Pada. This is Chaturtha Pada, Turiya, etc. So anyway, so Yugapat Sarva Vishaya Gnyatrutvam. Yugapat means simultaneously. So Turiyam basically means Na Prajna means Turiya is basically not even a knower of everything. Turiya is not a knower of few things. Turiya is not a knower of, Turiya is a knower of few things. In which state? In a waking state, in a dream state. Turiya is not even a knowing of everything, all knower. Basically, Turiya is not a knower at all. Knower is Turiya. Because to be a knower is to undergo a transformation depending upon the type of knowledge. And so you have a Shabda Vritti, you become a hearer. If you have a Drishya Vritti, you become a Drishta, seer. So, the knower undergoes transformation. If Atma being a Nirvikara, Turiya being a Nirvikara, but definitely Turiya is not a knower. Turiya is not a Ahankara. Knower is of course a Ahankara. Knower is pervaded by consciousness. So Turiya is neither a small knower or a all knower. So here it is Na Prajna means Turiya is not even an all knower, Ishvara. Anyway, so tasya pratishedah sarva gnatut so prajnasya pratishedah. Then na aprajnam. So you are negating all consciousness. So waker consciousness negated, dream consciousness, deep sleeper consciousness, and ubhayata, in between consciousness, and all knowing consciousness. All you are negating. Therefore, well, Atma, the Turiya is non-consciousness. Aprajnam means insentient, jada. No. Even not that. Na aprajnam. Then definitely, then Turiya is what? Just pure consciousness. Don't add anything into that. That's Turiya. So where we are negating all qualified consciousness. And so we have negated qualified consciousness. You thought I am not consciousness. No, 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 no. So I am non-consciousness. No, 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 no. I am pure consciousness. Therefore, that is how it is to be understood. Katham Punah Bhashakara says, Antapragnatvadinam Atman. We have seen that, but I am just revising. Katham Punah Antapragnatvadinam Atmani Gamyamananam Rajvadau Sarpadivat Pratishedat Asatvam Gamyate iti Uchyate Gnaswarupa Avisheshe api Itaretara Vibhicharat Asatyatvam Rajvadau iva Sarpadharadi Vikalpa Bedavat Sarvatra Avibhicharat Gnaswarupasya Satyatvam. So Shankaracharya ji, is negating this. Shastra is negating, Turiya is not this, etc. And this negation means it is a revealing that they are coming and going. That's all it is. So, Katha Punah Antapragnatvadinam Atmani Gamyamananam Rajvadau. So, here you have to connect this. Katham Punaha, it should be connected with Asatvam Gamyate. Katham Punaha. How come this dreamer and all this, they are negated? Katham Punaha Asatvam Gamyate. How will you know this that this dreamer, deep sleeper, and all this are asatvam? They are absent, or they are mithya. How do you know that? Atmani Gamyamananam. Because you are experiencing all the three states, and therefore how can you negate what you experience? That is true, Rajvado, Sarpa, etc., because that is not there. Once you say Sarpa is mithya, then Sarpa goes away. But here you negate and still they continue. In a waking state, you gain knowledge that I am Turiya. Then, waker continues. Waker only gains knowledge. It's not that the waker dies and then Turiya arises and then Turiya claims that I am Turiya. No. Waker claims that I am Turiya. Then right there, after that also it continues. Saying I am Turiya, again Waker continues. Then how can you say Asatvam? How can you say they are absent, etc.? So Atmani Gamyamananam. Gamyamananam is Anubhuyamananam. In a Turiya only you experience all the three. Right? And therefore, Atmani means in this Turiya, Gamyamananam. And then afterwards, the portion is an example. Rajvadau Sarpadivat Pratishedhat. Rajvadau Pratisheda, any Pratisheda you do on the Rajju, called a garland or this or that. Well, fine, then you won't see garland, you won't see snake, Asatvam. You say this is Rajju, means this are all gone for good, absent. But here it is not. Atmani Gamyamananam, Sakshi Pratyaksha, Turiya Pratyaksha. Sakshi Pratyaksha, Turiya is Sakshi only. Just because every whole Antakarana is illumined by you. Whole Antakarana, including Ahankara. What is this whole Antakarana? Is a whole grain food or what? No. Whole Antakarana. Whole Antakarana means there are four. 3 plus 1. One is a claimer, false claimer of other 3. Perception, I am a perceiver. Memory, thought of memory, I am memorizing or I am recollecting. All emotions, I am emoting. Yeah, that's Ahankara. So including Ahankara, a whole Antakarana is illumined by same Turiya. Therefore Turiya is a Sakshi. Sakshi is basically a status we give. Sakshi is a status, just a status with respect to Antakarana. You are just pure consciousness, nothing else. You illumine everything, the whole Antakarana, including Antakarana, Ahankara, and every other thing. But anyway, and through that Ahankara, you illumine the world. You don't illumine the world directly. You illumine the Ahankara, and through Ahankara, you illumine everything else, entire thing. So ultimately, you are illuminated. Yeah. So Atmani Gamyamananam, Anubhuyamananam, Gnyayamananam. Well, these three we can take right now. So, because these are Turiya. So Vishwa, Tejas and Prajna. So Vekarhood, etc. And so Atmani Gamyamananam Rajvadu Sarpathivat Pratishedhat, their Pratishedha is okay. So now we connect that. So Katham Punaha Asatvam Gamyate Antapragnadina. So there you do Pratishedha of Sarpa, etc. That is fine. But here how can you do Pratishedha? Because they continue. Anyway, and so Uchyate. So if you have this question, if you Purupakshi, well, Gnaswarupa Avisheshe api. Gnaswarupa is a sadharana. Consciousness is a sadharana. And that's nice. Instead of a prajna, last time I said prajna, instead this is better actually. What? Gnya. Because in a prajna also, gnya is common. Right? So bahish prajna, gnya. Anta prajna, gnya. Then ubhayata prajna, gnya. Then ghana prajna, gnya, prajnana gana. And then prajna, in prajna also, gnya. Aprajna, gnya. Therefore, yeah, aprajna is up. In fact, there is nothing which is unknown. There is nothing which is unknown. Agnatam vastu is not there because agnatam is in fact vignatam. Yeah, agnatam is vignatam. Just because you say certain thing is not known to you means it is known to you that it is unknown. And therefore there is nothing agnatam. In fact, it is illumined by the very absence of the knowledge of a given thing is illumined by what? By consciousness. Therefore, a whole thing, the known and unknown exist in consciousness. Therefore, there is nothing called unknown. Unknown also is known. Known is known, of course. Known is known. Unknown is also known. Therefore, Pujya Swami used to say there is nothing called agnatam, it is vignatam. But it is consciousness. You illuminate and thereby you prove its existence, etc. Anyway. And therefore, this vakerhood, etc., their experience here, that's fine. But so, Gnaswarupa Avisheshe api itaretara vyabhicharat. Itaretara vyabhicharat. Well, definitely. So, vakerhood, dreamerhood, they are mutually exclusive. Therefore, asatvam. When you become a dreamer, where is vakerhood? So when you become a deep sleeper, where is this waker and dreamer? When you become a waker, where is this dreamer and deep sleeper? Right? Therefore, Bhashyakara says, Gnaswarupa Visheshe api. That's a sadharana factor, which is abaditam, which cannot be negated. Gnya. Gnya means just consciousness. If you want to say ultimate knower, okay? A unchanging knower. Yeah. Unchanging knower. There is a changing knower. Changing knower. That's ahankara. Pramata is a changing. That becomes karta. Pramata becomes karta. And then karta becomes bhokta. And bhokta becomes pramata. And just changing. As a pramata also changing. Jagrat pramata. Sapna pramata. Where that pramatrutam resolves also. So this is all, it's all vyabhichara. But anyway, so vakerhood, dreamerhood, etc., they are mutually exclusive. They are subject to arrival and departure. So if the vakerhood is, well, my real nature, well, vakerhood will continue. I will be ever waking. And similarly, dreamerhood or a sleeperhood also will continue. But that they are mutually exclusive. They go away. They arrive, they go away. So, itaretara vyabhicharat. An example he gave is Rajvado iva sarpadharadi vikalpita bhedavat. So, Rajvado iva sarpadharadi vikalpita bheda. So, like the superimposed snake, dhara means a streak of water, etc., which are superimposed on rope, which are variable, and they just go away just by one thing. Rajju Sarpa will go away only by one thing. Because this is a unique category. And in example itself, it's a unique category and it applies to waker dreamer also. And that category is a mithya category. It has several names, and well, that goes only by what? By inquiry. That's it. So wakerhood, etc., goes away by inquiry, that they are mutually exclusive, etc. They come and go, they are superimposed, etc. and thereby they are as good as gone. Sarpa is gone because it's a Jiva Srishti, but here it is as good as gone. They become mithya. So vikalpita bheda. So itaretara vibhicharat antapragnadit. You can say that antapragnadit. Just pull it from the previous line. Itaretara vibhicharat antapragnadinam asatvam gamyate. So we can understand its asatvam, its mithyatvam. And sarvatra avabhicharat jnaswarupasya satyatvam. On the other hand, what is inherent in all the three or other states, etc., well, is that consciousness alone, Gnaswarupa. So, this is a very unique category. And that has been, I want to discuss about this mithya thing. In light of Shankaracharyaji's own text called Vivek Chudamani. And there Shankaracharyaji says, Anaditvam avidyayaha karyasyapi tatheshyate utpannayam tu vidyayam avidyakam anadyapi. Vinashyati, we have to supply. Anyway, this unique category is called in Vedanta Bhranti or Kalpita Vastu or Adhyasta Vastu or Anitya Vastu or Anirvachani Vastu or Mithya or Maya Vastu, either. So, Ajnanam and Adhyasa falls under this particular category. Because, and that why it is unique category? Because we generally, in Vedanta, we have one thing which is beginningless and which is endless. There is no end to it and there is no beginning to it. Means there is no scope of negating it. If there is something gets end, like wakerhood, etc., is negated, right? It goes away, exclusive. When one says I am a dreamer, definitely he is no more a waker. Therefore, it is negated. And it arrives. It begins also, right? Anyway, begins means as such, it's not really wakerhood begins, but it comes and goes. Actually, when this wakerhood was superimposed upon Atma, that is not there, because it is born of ultimately Ajnanam. And so Ajnanam Adhyasa falls under this particular category. It's called Kalpitam, Adhyastam, Anityam, etc., Anirvachaniyam, etc., etc. And as I told you, the one category is called Satyam because it is beginningless and it has no end also, means it is not available for negation. That's a Satyavastu. This one is a beginningless but ends. That's what I want to say. Anadi Santavastu, which Nayayikas do not accept. They literally, do a mockery of this Vedanta. What is beginningless should be endless, he says. That's true. Brahman is this, Anadi and Ananta. But what is Anadi? Yet what is Santa? That is this category. Yeah. And so, Adhyasa, born of what? Ajnanam. Therefore, both are Anadi. Both are Anadi and both are Santa. Why both are Anadi? Anadi means what? Beginningless. So, here, in terms of, for ignorance and superimposition, etc., we cannot say, that it is beginninglessly existent. Since because it is Anadi means it is beginninglessly existent, we cannot say. Anadi means whose existence cannot be talked about, whose beginning cannot be talked about, because on inquiry you don't find them. On inquiry, if you don't find, means it has no beginning, or it was not existent from beginningless time. If anything was existing from beginningless time, still it should be there. That's what Brahman is. If anything which was there from beginning less time, means it will continue for endless time. It will be there. But here Anadi means it is basically whose beginning cannot be talked about, because on inquiry you don't find it. And Rajju Sarpa falls in that. That's how Bhashyakara gives this example. Rajju Sarpa basically is like this. When Sarpa, Adhyastha Sarpa began on Rajju. No. As you saw it as a snake. Therefore it is beginningless. Okay. But on inquiry you don't find it. Therefore it is Santaha. It is Santaha means Antena Saha Vartate. It comes to an end. And therefore this is a very unique category. Anadi yet Santaha. So Acharya tells very beautifully. See, this particular rope snake, because here it's on inquiry, it goes away, we say, Pramatrutvam, etc. I mean, the bakerhood, etc. For that example is Rajju Sarpa. See, this particular rope, but the one person who says, who is not able to appreciate rope because of the ignorance of the rope, he says this is snake. And he is frightened. He is frightened. And he takes naturally a long stick, right? Because he want to keep it away. At the same time want to hit it so that it will be killed and you will be free from the fear. And you go on hitting that snake and still that snake won't die. For that person, snake won't die because the problem is here, not there. So that is the first. Then this is one upaya. Other than inquiry, these are all upayas, and still rope snake will not die, will not go. Second one is they call in a Tamil Nadu, I think there is a particular tribe, Irula tribe or something. This particular tribe is there, which is a snake catching tribe, and you know what they will do with that snake. I don't want to go into that. So they come with a certain special stick, and they catch. They try to catch rope snake. They will not be able to catch rope snake. Okay, for that person still. Well, that snake continues. Then third person, comes with that magudi or what they call that pepe instrument. It looks like a mongoose, and therefore, well, it plays that, and still the rope snake. You don't find that rope snake dancing, etc. So, and that goes away with that. It doesn't happen. It still continue to be there. So nothing can happen. Only rope snake dies. Right? Rope snake dies just by inquiry. The same thing applies here. Na anta pragnam, na vahish pragnam, etc. is an inquiry of the Turiya. And when you inquire into Turiya, you find I am not waker, I am not a dreamer, I am not a deep sleeper, etc. etc. Anyway, the next example is a dream. Why I am giving the examples? All are this unique category. What category? Anadi Santaha. Anadi Santaha. And you cannot talk about the date of birth of a dream individual. You cannot. Because why? Because if you say it has a date of birth, means it exists. But you find that on inquiry that he is not there. He is not there. If he is not there, where is the question of his birth of date? Therefore, dreamer also is a beginningless. It's not that something else was there and then dreamer is born slowly. As you see the dreamer is there. So exactly like that Rajju Sarpa. It's not that first Rajju was there and then somebody saw a snake is slowly born. No. If snake is born, it has Adi. It has a beginning. So this is not. Please understand how Anadi Santaha is applicable in an example. So in a dream also it is the same thing. So you cannot talk about the date of birth of a dream individual. At the same time, as you wake up, the dreamer dies, goes away, right? Means on inquiry kind of a thing. So dreamer goes away, Santaha. So Anadi and Santa, this is another example, is a dreamer. Anyway, and of course, the waker continues and Sapna Nasha takes place, but Samsara Nasha doesn't take place. So so here also you wake up, the waker, etc., the dreamer, all this will go away. But they go away means you will understand its mithyatvam. Really speaking, they continue as a mithya, we call as a badhita ahankara. So badhita anuvritti, their continuation will be there, but badhitam mithya. Yeah. So this kind of a thing is there. So same way in wake of knowledge, this world of experience also will not go away. The very experience of the ahamkara also will not go away. That triputi continues, right? The subject object and that experience continues. But definitely, this person who knows now Turiya, for him, the world and ahankara, the jagat and this jivatvam, etc., does not exist as a separate entity from itself, himself. That's it. Anyway, and now third thing also I would like to discuss, and that I mentioned, Nayayikas literally they are the very sharp people, and they say such a category is not there. Whatever is beginningless, whatever is beginningless means beginninglessly existent, is beginningless, will be there without end, ananta. So this mithya category Nayayikas do not accept. Then what Bhashyakara did, very brilliant thing. Sometime if you don't understand my language, I will make you understand in your language. That's what mothers do. What mothers do? The communication between mother and child you should know. If mother speaks in her language, child doesn't understand. But if mother speaks the child's language, child understands. Yeah. So that's how eat mum, call amma, something, amma, mum, this, that, etc. So then child understands. If you take the food, this is how, it's a lunch. You should take lunch. No. Take mum. Yeah. Understood. So this is how these Nayayika children, they don't understand our language. So then Bhashyakara has given an example of Anadi Santa, which is present as the very concept in a Nayayikas. Very wonderful thing. And I would like to share this thing regarding this mithya. We should be thorough. I have seen one person doing a commentary of, teaching of Vedanta for two children who understands a language of cricket. They know everything about cricket. Well, so not children as such, but a little grown up. And he was talking regarding this Trigunatmika Maya, etc. also. But if he says Trigunatmika Maya, we are Adhishthanam Brahma, and that is how this is called Ishvara, who will understand? Yeah, even in that young adult also will not understand. But they understand the language of cricket. So, what he said, this teacher was brilliant. He said, this Maya is Trigunatmika, Sattvaras, Tamas is like these three stumps, etc. And like that, this is just example I am giving you. So then children will, those people who are listeners, they will understand. Bhashyakara did same thing. He said, well, this, in this kind of a thing, Anadi Santa category exists in your concept. And that is, this Nayayika talks about four kinds of a abhava. Abhava. We don't accept four kinds of abhava. We don't accept abhava at all. We accept all that abhava is also ultimately in abhava. Right? What is present is a consciousness. Therefore, there is no abhava at all. Abhava doesn't exist independent of consciousness anyway. And they say four. The first one is a pragabhava. Pragabhava. Pragabhava means what? Prag means prior. So abhava, non-existent. Non-existence of a thing before it is created. That's called pragabhava. So it is beginningless. Non-existence of a pot before it is created. That non-existence of a pot before its creation is what? Beginningless. And as the pot is created, that non-existent ends. Right? Non-existence of the pot ends. Not existence of a pot ends. Non-existence of pot ends. So anyway, so this pragabhava is a anadi santa. Nayayika, which you say such a category is not there. What is beginningless should be endless. No. Your pragabhava is like that. Pradvansabhava is little different. Pradvansabhava means what? Non-abhava. Non-existence of a thing. Pradvansa means nasha, destruction. Non-existence of a thing after a thing is destroyed. Right? Non-existence of a pot after it is destroyed. That non-existence will be what? Continue, endless. Right? Anyway, so this Pradvansa bhava, they have other two abhavas. Just for your knowledge, they call Atyanta bhava, non-existence of a hot ice. Absolutely non-existence. And Anyonya bhava is a difference. In a pot, in a pot, cloth is not there. In a cloth, pot is not there. So that's a Bheda actually. But anyway, so this is Anyonya bhava, which is Anadi and Ananta, naturally. In a pot, cloth is not there. Since how long? Beginningless time. In a cloth, pot is not there from beginningless time. And it will not be there in future also, Ananta. Could you follow? So they call Anadi Ananta as a this Anyonya bhava or Atyanta bhava also, which is Atyanta bhava, means hot ice. Well, is not existent since beginningless time. Hot ice will not be there to the end of even cycle. It won't be there anytime. So, Atyanta, they say Atyanta bhava and Anyonya bhava is Anadi Ananta. But they keep mum for Praga bhava. Praga bhava is this Anadi Santa. So you have that. You say we don't have the Vekarhood, etc. That is their adhyasa on the Turiya. Since beginningless time, because Ajnanam is Anadi, therefore this adhyasa is Anadi. And therefore what is beginningless will never end. Therefore you are a Vekar and you will remain as Vekar. Bhashyakara says itaretara bhava. Itaretara, because they are mutually exclusive, they go away. You find in a waking state, well, these other two are not there. In a dream state, other two are not there, etc., etc. And the wakerhood, etc., the dreamerhood, they resolve even in a deep sleep state. All that, and even a wakerhood also, they continuously, the waker undergoes a change naturally as a pramata, as a karta, as a bhokta, etc. And therefore, that is asattva. Therefore, it is mithya. So this is how it has been said here. So all this jivatvam, it's a superimposed. This vakerhood, etc. are superimposed. It is all upadhi sambandhat is falsely superimposed due to upadhi called antakarana, and further also senses and body, etc. So Shastra says you are not a waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. Okay, we'll continue next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.